When you wish upon a star. Hello and welcome to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies with special guests Tim Davis and Selah Domer. This is the podcast where all four of us went and saw a movie at our local Regal Cinema Theater, and now we're going to talk about it in Matt's on the pilot, after the movie, in the parking structure. We're going to talk about such things as, should you see this movie? Should you not see this movie? Should you snack during it? Do you need to absolutely pay attention? Can you slack off? Should you bring a date? Should you bring kids? I don't know. What are you doing with your life? I am Todd Domer.
I'm Matt Malloy, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I'm hoping I'll figure it out someday.
One day.
For now...
One day when you wish upon a star.
For now, we are doing a podcast, so I'll leave it at that. We went and saw a movie. This movie is called Wish, animated film from Disney, and we're going to talk all about that. But first, Tim is going to tell us who's in this movie, who's voice acting this movie.
So the lead character is named Asha, and she's voiced by an actress named Ariana DeBose, who's mostly done plays and various things with. She did Hamilton and other stuff on Broadway, but she's also known for she was in West Side Story, the Spielberg version, and then this is her starring role here.
DeBoise, would that be Dubois?
DeBose, I think it is.
Is that how you say it? How you pronounce Dubois? No? Am I wrong about
apparently it's just DeBose. And then the king in this movie, who has all the power of the wishes, is Chris Pine, who probably most famously known for being the new Captain Kirk in the Star Trek movies of the 2010s, as well as he was also in the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. He's been around a lot for a while now. The voice of the pet goat in this movie is Alan Tudykz, who you may not know the name, but he very I'm trying to think of the word, but he's in many voice acting things over the years, as well as movies as well. He's been in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. He was in the Firefly show over the years. He was the voice of the king in Wreck-It Ralph. He pops up in a lot of stuff.
He was also the king of Westleton.
That is right.
Frozen.
That is right. Yes, he pops up in a lot of animated stuff too. And that, I would say, is it for the big names.
Yeah, I didn't recognize anyone.
Okay, well, so what is this movie Wish about? Well, the movie Wish is set in this kingdom. Actually, it's pretty much just a city and surrounding areas. Mm-hmm. What's it called?
On an island.
Rosas.
Something like that.
On an island in the Mediterranean.
For half of the movie, I thought it was called Roses. I was like, who names their city Roses?
Yeah, but it was Rosas.
Rosas. Well, anyway, there's this city, kingdom, town, suburbs, called Rosas, and it's ruled over by a king who is also a sorcerer named Magnifico. And the defining characteristic of this town is that when people turn 18 or when they immigrate to this town, they give their heart's desire, their wish, to the king, and he kind of takes it from them and holds on to it, and they then forget about their dream and their wish. But every so often he will grant someone's wish in the kingdom, and they will magically have their wish come true. And he stores all these wishes in his castle, and they're in the form of little globes of light kind of thing. And so that's sort of the setup for the kingdom. And then we have, what's her name?
Asha. A-S-H-A.
Yes. So Asha is a young woman of 17 and close to 18 years old, who is very happy with life in the kingdom. She gives tours to people coming there. She is interviewing to become the king's apprentice. And through that process of interviewing to become the king's apprentice, she finds out some things about the wishes and about the likelihood of them coming true being very low, and she starts to have some discontent. And so she wishes upon a star, and when she wishes upon a star, the star comes to give her a hand with things that she's wishing about. But basically, she wants the wishes to be returned to the people, basically. And this star, it's like a little blob of light who dances around. It reminds me, honestly, of something from Nintendo, like Mario Brothers.
The
star.
Mario Galaxy star?
Yeah. So the star can do some magical things. And anyway, the star helps her to kind of hatch a plan to release the wishes back to the people. Meanwhile, the king has gone to a dark place and is using dark magic and is trying to control people more and more. And then this all leads to a big confrontation, as these things go, where he tries to completely lock down everything and the people rise up, and there's a big finale and there's lots of singing and all that good stuff. So that's what I'll say about this movie. Todd, can you share with us your gut reaction to the movie Wish?
I will share my gut reaction. So gut reaction, walking out of the theater, I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie. And there's a couple of specific reasons why. One, I didn't like the animation. It was cell animation, which is kind of the new craze.
It was like a hybrid almost, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it made the forefront look nice, and it made the background look like a painting.
Yeah.
And
I think they were going for that.
Did not dig it. I'm not a big fan of the cell animation when it's used anywhere. So I was not the biggest fan of that. And then also, I just kind of felt like this movie wasn't completely thought out. It just kind of made it seem like it felt rushed to me. It was like, let's throw it out there. Oh, we don't know if people are really digging our movie, so let's throw out a reference to every single Disney movie throughout the movie to keep people, I guess, interested or whatever. Or maybe that was just originally part of the script. It just really felt like, to me, this movie needed more time. It needed to be polished, and I feel like they only promoted this movie like 2 to 3 weeks before it came out, which is never a good sign. And I just, I wasn't the biggest fan. But the movie's also not for me. And I thought there was really only like one real musical number that I enjoyed. I wasn't the biggest fan of the rest.
The Chickens.
It was not the Chickens.
Yeah.
It was the Revolution song. So it just didn't hit with me. And I don't know if this, it seems like the last couple of Disney movies have not hit. I think the one before this was Strange Worlds, I think.
Yep.
So I don't know. I just wasn't the biggest fan. I thought everyone in the voice cast did fine. I thought I didn't really no one really stuck out like a sore thumb to me. I mean, I feel like, as much as I love Alan Tudykz, I don't. The whole deep voice goat thing is just low hanging fruit to me. It just. I don't know. I would say I would recommend this movie for kids. But if you're an adult with no kids, I mean, sure, if you love Disney, come and watch it. But I just didn't feel like this was their strongest effort out there. And there was one scene that just really, really bothered me. That when all the people were in the wizard's tower, and they're like, "How do we get up there?" And literally, when that person said, "How do we get up there?" you could see behind them a swirl staircase going up. And I was like, that's a mistake they would make in a real movie. Real as in
Right, yeah.
I was just like, that's just weird to me. And that's why I just felt like it was rushed. I didn't think this movie was ready. It just got rushed. They needed something to come out before Christmas. And, it's sad to me that I think Disney's lost a little step here. But I think they can get it back. I just wasn't for me. I'm sure kids are going to eat it up. And that's what it's for, and that's who it's for. So good on them for that. But that's me. It didn't connect with me. People can make their own judgment when they go see it. Maybe I'm just completely off base, or maybe I'm 100% right. I don't know. But that's going to be me. I'm going to leave it up there. I don't want to trash this movie too much because I would feel bad if I did that. So, Selah, what did you think about this movie?
I thought it was good because I like singing, and I like all the singing inside of it. And I like the characters.
Singing in the characters.
And it was really funny because the goat.
You like the goat.
And the goat hit all the marks that it should for a kid. So that's a win in my book. If my daughter enjoyed it and had a great time, then it doesn't really matter what I think.
Did you have a favorite song?
Yeah, the last one. I thought it was really
The last one when they all rebelled? Yep.
Because
Nice.
Like, about wishes and I really like wishes. So.
Yep.
Even though none of mine come true, but.
Yep.
Well, you just got to keep
Well,
pushing.
you're still young. You've got plenty of time to get wishes come true.
Tim?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm as negative as you, Todd, but I do agree that, like, this was trying to be an all-timer, and I don't think it got there. But, they clearly were trying to do nostalgia, was a big theme of this movie for the people watching.
Yeah.
And it's like they have nods to all these kind of things. There was Peter Pan, there was all kinds of riffs. Obviously, When You Wish Upon a Star, the song is referenced many times in this, and it was done literally. I think what they were trying to go for here, I applaud them for. They were trying to make a kind of catch-all Disney movie. I think you're right. It succeeded in some ways and failed in others. It's not a knock on it. It's just, I think it's perfectly fine. The audience we were with seemed to enjoy it. The kids were all into it. Obviously, Selah really liked it. I thought some of the songs were really clever. I really liked Chris Pine's And That's the Thanks I Get, which is like kind of the middle song in the middle. I thought that was really funny and kind of almost an anti-song in a way, and it's still funny. And I thought, and that was Chris Pine singing from what I could tell, and he did a good job. But of course, he sang also in
Into the Woods.
Into the Woods, which he was also good at. And obviously Ariana's a singer, and I thought she all her songs were fun too, and she, songs were good. I don't know if there are any that were like ones that will last the test of time, so to speak. The animation, I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of neat because it looked like they were trying to go for a blend of original Disney animation thrown into a 3D computer world of like Frozen and Tangled and all that, and at times it looked really gorgeous, and then you're right, there are other times where it kind of didn't meld as well, and I don't know if that's a fault thing or if that's actually what they wanted it to look like, because it sure seemed deliberate. So I just I think with all the nods they were trying to do, they're trying to say, see, we still will do some hand-drawn stuff, and and also the way computers are now where they can mix it. So, I think it's a perfectly fine movie. It's a great one to take your kids to. The voice acting, I think, like I said, is pretty good. Chris Pine, really, you could probably see he was having fun in the studio because he was just kind of hamming it up as much as you can ham up a cartoon voicing. So, yeah, I still think it's worth seeing. I don't think it's an all-time Disney thing, but it's definitely not a miss. It's fun. Matt?
Yeah, I think I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. I thought the animation was a little distracting. It was just kind of uneven. Like, it was like in certain parts they went super realistic with what they were doing, which looked fine. And then there was other parts where there was like this mixture of realism, but then there would just be like blank cell in a part of the same shot. I saw it a lot on people's faces in this movie. Like, they would add some like fine details, but then the cheeks would be completely like flat and blank on the characters. I thought that was a little bit distracting. I didn't think that the songs connected as well to like carrying the story along. They just seemed to be like thrown in. To me, they felt like they were thrown in for the sake of, we're going to have a song here and it's going to be like a little musical number. I didn't think that I thought that they could have done a better job with the music, put it that way. Although I did really like the chicken scene.
Yeah, there's a very funny scene in the middle where
Yes.
the magic gets loose, so to speak.
So yeah, and I think you guys are everyone agrees that it's good for kids. But if you're looking for something like on the level of like an Encanto, no, it's not that. It's a couple steps below that. But yeah, a serviceable movie, and especially for kids, it's fine. I will say I was kind of in and out for the movie as far as like it capturing my focus totally.
Yeah.
But I thought that they brought it together at the end. Like I thought the end was very strong.
Yeah.
So I come out of it with a better feeling than I had for most of the movie.
The end is very Disney.
Yeah.
In the best way, I would say.
Yeah.
What they do best.
So that's where I'll end up.
Fair enough. Well, getting down to the brass tacks here. How many evil spell books would you give this movie? That's a somewhat important part of the movie. 0 being the worst. You got no evil spell books, so no spells, no evil,
No
nothing.
magic.
What's happening? 5 being the best, because then you can give them out to friends. You got a little evil wizard squad going on,
You can make a staff.
and sky's the limit there. Matt?
Well, I'm going to go with 2.6 Evil Wizard spell books. I thought this was a very average movie on the scale of all movies. I thought it's, like I said, a couple steps down for a Disney movie from what we're normally used to getting from them. But not below average, just average for me. So 2.6.
Fair enough. Tim?
Yeah, I'm in that same range. I didn't get to a 3, but I'm just below it. I'm at a 2.8. I still think it's better than most. I did not like most of it. I just, like you said, it didn't stand out in a special way either.
Sure. Selah?
I think it was like 5. I really liked it.
A 5?
Yeah, see,
All right.
5.
Selah's a 5.
She's done 5s before. And
I've
she likes
always
it. She
done
loves it.
I love all movies.
Yeah, you do.
Fair enough.
Me too.
Yeah. And now the Todd.
Man, is that like I love all movies? Is that a statement that we probably had before we started doing this podcast? And then we
have numbers now to show
opened up our eyes to the world, and we're like, "Ooh, there are some stinkers out here."
Now I think we would change it and would say, we still love
We still
going
love movies.
to all movies.
Yes,
There you go.
Fair.
There you go.
Fair.
If we loved everything, it wouldn't be very.
And who would listen?
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be truthful to ourselves, I don't think. Yeah, I'm at like a 2.1. The stuff that didn't hit with me was far off the mark for me. Obviously I'm happy that Selah loved it and it was a 5 for her. But, I mean, opposed to my last couple of Disney movies that I've seen with Selah, I was really like, let's wrap this up. And I still have a lot of drink left in my drink, which is a bad sign for movies. So that's gonna be me.
Okay.
Right?
Last thoughts?
Selah, any last thoughts?
No.
Okay.
No.
All
right.
No, don't talk to me.
Well then, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we reviewed the movie Wish from Disney, and we gave it an average rating of 3.125 out of 5. Buoyed strongly by Selah's 5 out of 5. So I would say if you have kids
you're gonna end up singing it.
How old are you, Selah? 8. So if you have kids in that 7, 8, 9 range,
in their wheelhouse.
that's the movie's really going to be in the wheelhouse. The rest of us, we were
Not in
more
that range.
ambivalent about it.
You aren't.
But thank you for listening to the podcast, downloading, subscribing, etc. Please continue to do those things, and we will see you next time.
Da 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 da
Da da
da da da.
da da da.